I think your new TV show has a tremendous Larry Sanders Show vibe.
For sure.
And I love that. That's my favorite sort of vibe. Getting me behind the scenes of stuff. One of my favorite things about your show is you get a whole bunch of people who are actually playing themselves. Like in the first episode, Martin Scorsese is playing himself.
It's fun.
And you direct these episodes. Do you tell Martin Scorsese when he's fucking...
Yes.
You do. You give them
You have
notes.
to direct them. Yes, for sure. We have to give them a lot of notes, which is a nightmare. Like directing, it was one of those things where like we wanted Martin Scorsese. He was like our ideal guy. We got Martin Scorsese. We couldn't fucking believe it. And then it like dawned on me and Evan, my partner. It's like, oh, now we have to direct Martin Scorsese in a movie or in a show. And it's like
the guy who made Goodfellas.
The guy who made
telling him what to do.
Like one of the greatest living filmmakers, one of the greatest directors of all time. You know, someone who also, for us personally, like we were obsessed with Martin Scorsese. Like when we were writing Superbad, like weirdly, like Goodfellas was like a huge inspiration to us. You know, and After Hours, you know, obviously, like those kinds of movies. And so it was one of the scariest things I've ever had to do in my like professional career.
My audience is going to love this show, this studio, because there's one episode. There's a trailer for Johnny Knoxville's in a movie about zombies that shit radioactive material. And if it gets on you, you die.
They spread the virus with projectile diarrhea.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think Seth's going to show this. And sure enough, there's that zombie shitting all over some actor. And it's fucking funny.
We really came alive that day on set. That was the day, like, we'd been shooting the show for, like, months, and then it was, like, the day we were shooting the zombie diarrhea, like scenes from the movie and the show. And me and Evan were like, we should be doing this. Like, we've taken a swing at elevated television, but I think at the end of the day, our calling is making projectile zombie diarrhea movies.
There's one episode I think was my favorite was this episode about the Golden Globes, where you spend the entire episode trying to get Zoe Kravitz to thank you in her acceptance speech. Because you're so fucking depressed that Ted Sarandos
keeps getting thanked.
And it's so great.
That is very based on real life. Like, I personally have been a part of a movie that won a Golden Globe. And we went, and afterwards, we're at like the after party and everyone's celebrating and going crazy. And I see one of the executives and they're in tears. And I assume they're crying because they're happy because our movie won a Golden Globe. And instead, we were like, are you crying because you're so happy? And they were like, no, they didn't thank me. And we were like, oh no. And then we interviewed almost every head of every studio, kind of past and present, like in the months leading up to the show. And as we were writing the show, we wanted to get a lot of insight. And it was one of the most consistent things that was said to us was, you just want to be thanked at an award show by first and last name. And it was so funny because I went to the actual Golden Globes like this year. So many people from the episode were there at the Golden Globes. And you could see they were all just like, this is so weird. We were just here. And Zoe Saldana won the Golden Globe, and Ted Sarandos was sitting like 10 feet away from me, and she almost didn't thank him, and then she thanked him very at last at the end of the speech, and he literally looked backwards at me and was like, just got it, just made it under the wire.
It's so great, especially in the show, you actually get the real Ted Sarandos to act.
We do.
Who, by the way, I was nervous for him. I'm like, oh, how's he going to do? He did a pretty good job.
He's good. He's funny. You would never know that he'd never acted before.